And Meghan Markle, well, she broke cover over the weekend, visiting the Montecito Farmers Market without her husband in tow. Instead, the Duchess was accompanied by her other lapdog, her pet beagle. And this was despite the market's glaringly obvious no dogs allowed sign. Meghan's public outing also conflicted with a very busy weekend for the Princess of Wales, who was carrying out duties as the royal patron at Wimbledon. Now, Lady C, you don't believe this was a coincidence?
It certainly wasn't. It absolutely wasn't, Dan. The fact of the matter is, she purposely set out to do it because she wanted to rain on Catherine's parade, and she understood that if she broke the rules, she would get more publicity than if she abided by the rules. I mean, the woman is incorrigible. You know, there's just no way around it. She is incorrigible.
Phil Dampier, is that a bit harsh on Meghan?
Good evening, Dan. Well, as a dog lover, I don't want to be too harsh on Meghan. I'm sure Lady C doesn't either. I noticed Lady C hasn't got her dog on her lap this evening, so she's speaking from the moral.
She's following the rules.
She mustn't break any rules. But no, it was a photo opportunity, wasn't it? It keeps on.
Oh no, you were wrong, Phil.
No, we don't want to be. It could have been worse. We have got two dogs, so she could have turned up with the other dog as well, I suppose. But no, it keeps her in the limelight, doesn't it? And tries to take away a bit from Kate at Wimbledon. I think they're all a bit jealous of the fact that got such wonderful coverage at Wimbledon. But it is strange, isn't it, the way they're not seen together? I think one of the crunch periods will be in September at the Invictus Games. Whether she turns up for that. I think if she doesn't, then I think we might well, concede that there might be something wrong with the marriage. I don't really know, but be interesting to see if she's. I'm actually more interested in the flowers she bought at the farmers market, Dan. Apparently they were pink ones. Now, who were they for? Were they for Harry? I doubt it. Maybe her mother. Maybe she was buying them for herself. I don't know, but apparently she bought some pink flowers.
Now, look, we mentioned the Princess of Wales' stunning appearance at Wimbledon. But the journalist and ex-IRA scumbag Tim Brannigan wrote online, and brace yourself for this, it's awful, Kate is such a prim, anaemic and vacuous woman, yet the media gushes at her insipid presence like she adds something to the spectacle. Her talentless, bony ass being there for all the big games every year is effing annoying. To be perfectly honest, Lady C. Brannigan has since deleted that tweet, but are you as outraged as I am by that description of our future Queen?
Well, you know, Mr. Brannigan is a very interesting person. First of all, Mr. Brannigan is Irish. Secondly, Mr. Brannigan is a man of colour. Mr. Brannigan is playing the race card. He's doing it on behalf of his colleagues, including Meghan, and he's doing it in the nastiest and most distasteful way possible. And it's totally uncalled for. And, you know, Catherine Wales is a very good-looking woman. She's an ectomorph. Ectomorphs don't have a lot of fat on their body. But to actually
let me tell you,
refer to her posterior the way he did, she actually has a very well-shaped backside. Look at it. She also has very well-shaped legs.
Oh, goodness me. Goodness me. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. Absolutely. Phil, obviously, we don't have any evidence of any connection between Brannigan and Meghan, do we?
No, I don't know of any. I don't think we need to take too seriously what this guy says. I mean, apparently he went to jail for buying some explosives and some guns for the IRA. He was a member of the Provisional IRA. So I don't particularly take much notice of what he says. But I think on a general point, it just sort of shows how the woke left are rattled. I think that you know, as Harry and Meghan's star sort of starts to fade. We can see how popular William and Kate are. You saw that at Wimbledon. I mean, took George and Charlotte along as well. Everyone loves the glamour of seeing them. Somebody's got to present the prizes. Obviously, we've no longer got the Duke and Duchess of Kent as they're aged around 90. And she's taken over as patron of the club, and people love seeing her there. And OK, you can say that they get free tickets for watching from the centre court. I think we all would from the Royal Box if we had the opportunity. But no, it's great to see them, and it adds a lovely touch of glamour to the occasion.
But Lady C, look, we don't want to be unkind to the Queen today because, of course, it is her birthday, so have a good one, Camilla. But is it fair to say, Lady C, that the Waleses, you know, William and Kate and the 3 kids, are now the box office attraction for the royal family in the same way that the late Queen and Prince Philip used to be?
Yes, and of course the late Queen and Prince Philip were box office attractions when they were the same age as William and Catherine. You know, there's something very sexy about younger people, and there's something very unsexy about older people. And I think for somebody who's an older person, sorry, it's just old age isn't sexy. It may be many things, but sexy it isn't.
So we love just looking at them. OK, now look, the King said to be miffed after being told by Prince William to cough up if he wants to stay at his beloved Welsh cottage. So this is the property that's situated on the outskirts of Brecon Beacons National Park, and it now belongs to William, of course, but it's to be rented out as a holiday home, despite the King spending a couple of weeks there every summer. So, Phil, is this what King Charles had in mind when he called for a slimmed-down monarchy?
Well, I take this story with a little bit of pinch of salt, actually, Dan. I mean, I'm sure that he will miss the cottage that he's used for many years, but he knows full well that, you know, William is now in charge of the Duchy of Cornwall, and he's had to give that up, and he makes the decisions now on the advice of the executives who run the duchy. And we used to have controversial things when Charles was in charge of it, didn't we? People were complaining when they got kicked out of their cottages or the rents were put up. So, you know, there's always been controversies involving Duchy of Cornwall properties, but it just highlights really, I think, on a general point, this problem that they've got too many homes. You know, they don't know what to do with Windsor Castle and Buckingham Palace and Balmoral and Sandringham and Highgrove and Clarence House, Birkall. The list goes on and on and on, and they really have got to sort out at some point what they do with all these properties, whether they turn some into sort of full-time museums. At the moment, you know, the King's got to sort of get out of jail card because Buckingham Palace is being renovated.
Yeah, so but he doesn't want to go back, does he, Lady C? He doesn't want to go back, and it's fascinating because... Well, yeah, because, Lady C, you know, I think back to, I think it was Churchill, wasn't it, who said to the late Queen, no, you go and live in Buckingham Palace. You know, that is the home of the British royal family. Does Charles need to just accept that?
Well, I think he will accept it in that he will stay at Clarence House and give the illusion of being at Buckingham Palace and use Buckingham Palace.
But that's not living there. That's not living there.
No, well, I suppose it's not, but I mean, he'll have the best of both worlds. But I do think that Buckingham Palace has to remain the official residence, and in conjunction with Windsor Castle, you know, no matter how homely Clarence House is, it's just not suitable as the official residence of the monarch. And that was absolutely why Winston Churchill put his foot down and said to the Queen and Prince Philip, who wanted to stay at Clarence House, you can't, you have to move.
OK, a quick word from each of you. Is Prince William right to say that George doesn't need to serve in the armed forces before becoming king, Lady C?
I think he's most likely right, because the fact of the matter is that, you know, the armed forces are radically different now because, you know, everything is computerized. You know, nobody's mounting a cavalry charge. So I think it's most likely a wise thing to say he doesn't have to. But personally speaking, I think he would profit from 3 months in each of the services at least, just as an introducer.
I think it's just too early to say. I think the source of this story was the quote was from a friend of Prince William. I think it's a very, very speculative story. He's only just reaching 10, isn't he? 9 or 10, George. I think in 10 years' time, when he's old enough to go to Sandhurst or whatever, I suspect he probably will join the armed forces. And I think he will be encouraged to. But in this day and age, if he really doesn't want to do it, we don't want to repeat the situation where he joins up like Prince Edward did with the Marines and then quits. So there's no point in him going into it if he doesn't really want to. But who knows, as he grows up and matures, I'm sure he might well want to himself anyway.
Yeah, and I think Lady C, William and Kate are very clever as they're laying the groundwork, aren't they? They're allowing this story to get out there to take the pressure off George, and I think that's sensible.
Yes, well, they're actually very sound and sensible parents because, the reality is the Middletons are very upper middle class. And so they don't have a lot of the influences of the aristocracy to sort of twist their thinking. They're very down to earth, which in some ways is a very good thing, I think.
OK, good stuff. Lady Colin Campbell, Phil Dampier, great to have our royal masterminds back. We'll speak later in the week.